Have you ever looked at someone winning in life and thought, what do they have that I don't? Is it talent, luck, connections? No. The real difference lies in how they think, how they face adversity, how they react when life hits hard. The Stoics believed that victory isn't something that just happens. It's something you become. And the man who masters his mind, his actions, and his responses wins. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that. He didn't say, avoid the obstacle. He said, use it. Make it the path. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you've been doubting whether you'll ever break through, this video is your wake-up call. Not because it will magically fix your life, because it will show you how to win like a Stoic, with discipline, purpose, and relentless clarity. Let's begin. Winning starts in the mind. You can have all the tools, all the strategy, and still lose, simply because you never believed you could win. The battlefield is inside you long before it shows up in the real world. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thought." If your thoughts are dark, filled with fear, doubt, and hesitation, your actions will reflect that. But if your mind is sharp, disciplined, and grounded in belief, everything changes. Stoicism teaches that while we can't control outcomes, we can control our internal stance. That's where belief lives. It's not arrogance, it's the quiet, unshakable confidence that says, no matter what happens, I will keep going. Modern psychology agrees. Studies in sports and behavioral science consistently show that belief is the foundation of performance. Athletes who visualize success, who train their minds to handle pressure, outperform even the most talented individuals who crumble under doubt. Think about it. Would you go to war with someone who doubts victory? Or would you follow the man who, no matter how uncertain the path, believes in the mission? That belief creates momentum. It gives you the courage to take the first step and the strength to keep walking when the world is silent. Reflect on this. Where in your life have you been holding back because you didn't believe? Because belief, real belief, is the beginning of everything. Motivation is seductive. It feels good. It gets you fired up for a moment. But then it disappears. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It shows up. It does the work. It builds strength when motivation has left the room. The Stoics didn't talk about getting pumped. They talked about duty, about showing up for what must be done, regardless of mood, emotion, or circumstance. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. And one of the greatest illusions is that we need to feel ready to begin. But the truth is, readiness comes through action, not before it. Winners don't wait for a spark. They create a system, a rhythm, a code. They train their minds to do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like it. Look at high performers across any field. Athletes, writers, soldiers, musicians. They aren't carried by constant excitement. They're grounded in ritual. They understand that excellence is built in boredom, in repetition, in the small, unseen moments. Discipline is the edge. It means making the right decision after the emotion has faded. It's a contract with your future self, signed in effort. Modern behavioral science confirms this. The brain forms habits not through intensity, but through consistency. The more often you follow through, the more automatic it becomes. This is how winners are made, not through grand gestures, but through daily, deliberate action, through the discipline to keep showing up, especially when motivation whispers, "Not today." Ask yourself, are you driven by emotion or commitment? Discipline is the quiet force that separates the dreamer from the doer. Let's move forward to what truly refines the soul. Not success, but failure. Most people fear failure. They see it as proof that they're not good enough. But to the Stoic, failure is not the enemy. It's the sculptor of the soul. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment, and works around it, so too can we turn failure into fuel. What stands in the way becomes the way. Failure is feedback. It's the universe sharpening your edge. It's how you learn what works, and more importantly, what doesn't. Look at the stories we revere. Thomas Edison tested thousands of materials before finding one that would light the world. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team and went on to become a legend. These weren't detours. They were the path. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate, not just accepting what happened, but embracing it, seeing every setback as essential, as part of your becoming. Modern psychology mirrors this idea. Carol Dweck's research on the growth mindset shows that those who see failure as an opportunity to grow achieve far more than those who avoid failure out of fear. It's not about being fearless. It's about being anti-fragile. Every time you fall, you have a choice: collapse under the weight or rise with more clarity and strength than before. Because failure doesn't define you. Your response to it does. So if you've fallen, good. You're being refined. You're being shaped into something stronger. Reflect on this. What failure are you still resenting instead of learning from? Victory begins the moment you stop running from failure and start using it. Now, let's dive into the trait that keeps you walking through the fire: perseverance. There's a moment in every journey where quitting feels easier than continuing. The path is unclear. Progress feels invisible. You're tired, tested, and alone. This is where most people stop. But Stoicism teaches us adversity is not the end. It's the beginning of who you are becoming. Epictetus, once a slave turned philosopher, said, "Difficulties show men what they are. The fire doesn't destroy the iron. It forges the sword." Perseverance is not just about surviving the storm. It's about walking through it and emerging sharper, calmer, and more capable than before. Think of J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before creating a global empire, or Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years in prison without losing his purpose. Their success wasn't despite adversity. It was born from it. The Stoics called this anarine, enduring with grace, not with resentment, but with inner power. They believed that character is not built in comfort, but in the resistance. Modern psychology aligns with this truth. Studies in resilience show that people who face and overcome adversity develop higher levels of emotional strength, focus, and long-term success. They're not lucky. They're trained by pain. The key is not just enduring, but growing, asking, "What is this challenge teaching me?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" So if you're facing something hard right now, hear this. Don't run from it. Run with it. Let it forge you. Let it build a version of you that never existed before. Perseverance is not a trait you're born with. It's a choice you make daily. Let's now unlock one of the most underestimated sources of power: gratitude. Gratitude is not weakness. It's not denial. It's strength. It's clarity. It's the ability to stand in the middle of difficulty and still say, "There's something here for me." The Stoics didn't practice gratitude only when things were easy. They practiced it especially when life was hard. Because gratitude changes how you see and how you suffer. Seneca once wrote, "A wise man is content with what he has, no matter how little it may be." But this contentment isn't about settling. It's about power. When you choose to be grateful, you shift from victim to visionary. You reclaim control over how you interpret life. Modern psychology has caught up. Gratitude has been shown to reduce stress, increase optimism, improve sleep, and strengthen relationships. And it doesn't take much. Just a daily reflection of what you're thankful for rewires your brain for resilience. Think of the man who's stuck in traffic. He can complain, or he can be grateful for the job he's headed to. Think of the man who loses a deal. He can panic, or he can see the lesson, the sharpening of his strategy. Gratitude turns obstacles into opportunities. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing that even the pain has purpose, that every loss, every delay, every challenge is shaping something greater in you. The Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining the loss of what they loved most, not to feel fear, but to cultivate deep appreciation, to stop taking life for granted. Ask yourself, what if the things you're resenting today are the very things that will prepare you for tomorrow? Gratitude is armor. It's perspective, and it's one of the greatest tools in your arsenal. Now let's talk about what brings all of this into reality: action. Belief is powerful. Discipline is essential. Gratitude strengthens the mind, but none of it means anything without one thing: action. This is where most people fail. They wait, they plan, they prepare, but they never move. The Stoics were ruthless about action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Don't talk about your principles. Live them. Action is the bridge between your vision and your reality. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. The Stoic path is built on decision, not dream. The key: focus on what you can control. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." You can't control the outcome, but you can always control the effort, the movement, the choice to act now, not later. Modern science backs this with force. Behavioral activation, a therapy model rooted in cognitive psychology, shows that taking action, even small, imperfect steps, dramatically reduces anxiety and increases motivation. In other words, Clarity comes after action, not before. Winners understand this. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for ideal conditions. They create momentum through movement. One decision, one rep, one conversation, 1 hour of focused work. Think of it like this. Your life is a sculpture. Every action is a strike of the chisel. Every moment you delay, the stone hardens. Every moment you act, you shape it. Ask yourself now, what's one action you've been avoiding? Because the gap between who you are and who you could be is closed by action. Now, let's talk about something that most men underestimate: how your environment shapes your destiny. You can have strong goals, a disciplined mind, and a warrior's will, but if your environment works against you, it's like running uphill with weights on your back. The Stoics understood that the world around you either sharpens or dulls your edge. Marcus Aurelius surrounded himself with mentors who lived with integrity. Epictetus warned against spending time with people who would pull you off your path. Your environment is not neutral. It influences your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, every voice you hear, every piece of content you consume, every space you live in. It all adds up. Psychology confirms this. Behavioral science shows that habits are often a product of environment. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow. Want to eat better? Clear the junk from your kitchen. Want to focus? Silence the noise. The most successful people are intentional with their surroundings. They don't just protect their time, they protect their space. They curate their inputs. They eliminate distraction. They spend time with people who reflect the values they aim to embody. Toxic influences, online and offline, are more dangerous than most realize. Sarcasm, negativity, endless complaining, constant dopamine spikes. These things numb your vision, blur your mission, and kill your drive. So build an environment that reflects your discipline. Organize your space. Set triggers that remind you of your goal. Choose relationships that challenge you to rise, not stay the same. Ask yourself, is your environment pulling you forward or holding you back? Because winning isn't just about what's inside you. It's also about what's around you. Now let's bring it all together with a message that should echo through your life. You will win. You will win. You've heard the principle. You've seen the path. Now it's time to decide who you want to be. Not someday. Not when things are perfect. But today, in the chaos, in the pressure, in the storm. Winning is not an event. It's not a finish line. It's a mindset, a way of walking through the world, a daily choice to show up, to rise, to keep going, no matter what. The Stoics taught that no one can stop the man who masters himself. That victory belongs not to the loudest, the strongest, or the most admired, but to the one who remains steady in the face of life's tests. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are capable of building a mind that doesn't bend under pressure. You are capable of forging habits that carry you through every failure. You are capable of acting with courage, of shaping your world, of leading yourself and others. This is the Stoic way, not blind positivity, but radical responsibility, strength through clarity, power through self-command. And if you choose this path, if you embrace the pain, the setbacks, the repetition, the silence, you will win. Because victory isn't given, it's earned in the shadow, and you are closer than you think. So reflect on what you've learned. Share this with someone who needs. Subscribe for more if this spoke to something inside you. But above all, live this. Every day is a battle. And now you're ready. Win it.